All right, right there, what you're looking at are the SEIKO. People call them the MACV-SOG watches. These are the watches that during the Vietnam War, there were these guys, CIA, some Green Berets, I suppose, alert patrols, guys that were crossing the border over into Cambodia, Laos. They couldn't wear, U.S. GI gear, United States government issue. And so I've been looking for these watches. I just wanted to point out a couple things about them. So they've got Arabic numerals, all right, 1 through 12. The first two have a day date, which it doesn't matter that much. The last one just has the date. First two obviously have 4 o'clock crowns. Last one has a 3 o'clock crown. They're SEIKO 5s. They're automatics. Now that last one, that's an automatic as well. And these watches, whether they were in the war or not, doesn't really matter if you find them. They go for a lot of money because of the story behind them. And so I'm always looking for them. And SEIKO has reissued SEIKO 5s before that look like this. They're pretty similar. And you could find them, and the listing is usually not a lot, but by the time the bidding's over on eBay, you're paying a lot for it. Well, I've been kind of looking for something. And Sunday, I was walking up to the swap meet, and on a table before I went in there, I picked something up. And I'm going to show it to you right now. Well, I'm real excited about it. I'm going to show it to you up close in the kitchen here on the table. And this is a quartz, but it has all the other criteria, plus a couple little extra details that we're going to talk about. I'm so excited. I'm nerding out on this, man. Totally nerding out on it. All right, so here it is. Again, it's a quartz. It's a little beat up. It wasn't running when I picked it up. And I took a chance on it. I knew it was going to need a battery. Just remember, it's a 7 3/4 inch wrist. The watch is a 34.8 millimeter case here. I'll just show you on here. Make sure we're zeroed. Oh, oh, oh. 34.9. So it's pretty tiny for me, but the neat thing is it's just so light. I put it on this NATO style strap because it came on a metal buckle strap, but it just I couldn't get it on. So when I picked it up and it wasn't running, first thing I did was try to manipulate this crown. And here's what's really neat about this particular watch. It's a locking screw down crown. So I've got to turn it back this way. And now it pops. Now here's the thing. Locking screw down crown and crown guards. And when I pull this out, watch the second hand, it hacks. So it's a quartz movement that hacks, that has a day date feature. Locking screw down crown protected by crown guards. That's pretty cool. I was considering this could be the first watch that I try putting a new lens on myself, but I also have to say that I kind of like that the lens is all scratched up and beat up because it gives you that vintagey patina. You can already see how the lume is on this. I'm going to insert some lume right now. So that's pretty cool, huh? Tiny, tiny watch. The neat thing about it is I've been wearing all these big watches, which I prefer on my wrist, but you can feel them sometimes after a while. Now, those of you that know more than I do can probably tell me what this is from, when it's from. So it looks to me there's a 3/7, so that's I'm going to guess this is a 1983, July 1983 is what I'm guessing. It could be a 73, it could be a 93, it could be a 2003, but this case back does have some age to it. I don't know enough about it. You guys can see the movement numbers here. 7N438329 Japan movement. The inside was very clean. Vartan, Mike's son, when I brought it in, he took it, opened it up, put a new battery in it, and he cleaned the dial for me. He put a new seal on the back case here. And, you know, really made it look nice. Of course, again, you can't tell because of the scratches on the dial, I suppose. But look at the second hand. Look at the little red syringe on the end. That's a nice little pop of color there. When I saw this out of the case, the dial's beautiful. It's perfect. Nothing wrong with the dial. Nothing wrong with the hands. The only thing is this case is a little scratched up. But again, I don't mind it. At least not right now. So I'm happy. Like, to me, this is kind of, I mean, obviously it's not the right era. It's later. But this is a really decent, you know, this would be a decent military style field watch. It's got a good quartz movement, Japan quartz, I mean, it's SEIKO movement. The fellas at the watch store were very... As soon as I showed it to him, the first words out of his mouth were, "Oh, quartz day date." And then when I pointed out the locking screw-down crown and the crown guards, they were all over it. So they respected this watch. So it's water resistant to 100 meters, which is interesting because there's a lot of push-pull crown watches that say that. This actually is locking screw-down. So you can actually believe it, I think, with this watch, that this would easily handle 100 meters, no problem. That's 330 feet. I don't think you're going to be going that deep anyhow. So my point is, in the rain, that sort of thing. It was real funky in here. So when I got it back, after we put the new seal in it and the new battery, yesterday when I got home, I took a fingernail brush and some soapy cold water, put it underneath the faucet, scrubbed it pretty clean. And wore it all day, wore it last night, wore it today. I like it. I'm real stoked with it. So anyhow, just thought you guys would get a kick out of it. If anybody knows the precise year that this is, I'd love to know. I might do a little research myself. You can see that the SEIKO is on the dial is applied. Water resist 100 meters is printed. All the numerals are printed. The minute track around, that's all printed. Nice frame around the day-date window. Check out the day-date window, color matched to the dial. Black. That is a real nice feature. Even on those old SEIKOs, they weren't doing that. It was white. So I think this is better, which it should be. It's later. This is better technology. I mean, I do prefer automatic movements myself. I'm just learning to respect quartz movements, just because when I hang out in the watch shop, sometimes they show me these. There are Swiss quartz movements that are worth a few $100s, just the movement. So they're not. And as a kid, I started with mechanical watches. Matter of fact, hang on a second. So Sunday when I bought this was right next to it. Now this is a straight up mechanical watch, meaning you got to wind it every day. And it's a tiny watch. Let's see, you know what? I don't even know what the don't know what the case size is on this. Let's find out. So this is a 34 millimeter case. It's a hand winding. It's got a date window. It is a Paul Garnier 17 jewel, shock resistant. Good looking watch. Kind of reminiscent of watches from the 40s. I don't know if this is that old. Stainless steel back, base metal bezel. 1316, or is that 1318 on there? 1318. So you guys can tell me if you know anything about this. We opened it up. The movement was flawless, clean. You know, it's winded every morning until it stops winding. And I picked it up this morning. It was still keeping accurate time. Really good looking watch. Again, tiny. But this was more of the size that people wore back in the day here. There were large dive watches right from the beginning, but it's not a dive watch. So I got both of these watches so cheap on a table. You know what I mean? Just a couple guys, or actually it was a guy with his family, his wife and a baby in a carriage. And I asked him what he wanted. Actually, I'll tell you, this was like $40, which is more than a lot of people would pay. And this one was $30. which was a gamble because it wasn't running. Right, I knew it was a quartz just by looking at the back, and I knew I was going to have to put a battery in it. And you know, as we know from yesterday's watch video, you don't always get what you think you're getting. So, but I'm very pleased with both of these watches. I think that they're super cool. I don't know that I'll hold on to this one here. I love that domed acrylic. It's actually pretty clear. Just a good looking vintage watch. And, you know, if I was ever doing something, I'm not a reenactor kind of guy to put on a costume or something, but you guys have seen I've got that vintage early 70s camo I was wearing with my shoulder holster, and if I do that again, I'll wear this watch with it. Or, you know, the 6108, the Willard, I've got those too, so it could be cool, but I'm tickled about this. I've been hunting for one of these on eBay, and there's no way I would have found something like this with the Arabic numerals. Look at that secondhand, whether it was automatic or quartz at this price. I don't think, with shipping and everything else, people are just starting to snap these things up just because it's such a classic watch. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you all in the next one.